James Blackburn, an actor and a musician that I'm going to talk to today. I'm so excited to interview James. James, I understand that you have more than 40 movies to your credit.
I do, and that's just the Hollywood side. I've also worked on 40 to 50 independent films as well. And that's all been in about the last 9 years. I've been really, really busy, and I pretty much don't take any time off ever.
Wow. Now, I know that you were in what's called the second crew to Armie Hammer in The Lone Ranger.
Yep.
Can you explain to the people what second crew is? That's like a movie term, and I'm sure they don't know what it is.
Right. And the actual term is second team, actually.
Okay.
And to understand what second team is, you have to know what first team is. First team are the actors that you see in the final product, in the movie itself. Second team are the actors that they hire, like me, so we can act out the scenes on camera, for camera, for light, and for sound. So meanwhile, the stars are waiting in their trailer, where it's air conditioned or heated while we're outside.
So you're like a stand-in.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Second team stand-in is exactly the same thing.
Now I understand that. Now, and you were on location for 7 months filming that movie. That's a long time. I mean, most films are filmed on location like 6 to 8 weeks, maybe a little bit longer. 7 months is a long time.
It was the longest I've done so far. I've had a couple gigs for about 5 months, but that was, a series of stuff. 7 months was amazing. I still look back at it like it was a dream. I can't actually not believe I was there. But it was great. 7 months of working mostly outside, so we had a variety of weather conditions, everything from snow blizzards to 125 degrees outside in Utah. So yeah, we got a little sunburn a couple times, I guess you'd say.
So you did film that in Utah then?
Yes, we were in Utah for a few weeks up by Moab. That was great. We were there right around July 4th, so I believe that's about the hottest time of the year there.
Isn't that the location where they used to film a lot of Westerns?
Yeah, Utah's been used tons. Even John Wayne was up in Utah for lots and lots of stuff. As a matter of fact, on Lone Ranger, what was great about that is all those old John Ford Westerns that were made back in the old days. We went to some of those actual locations and used some of the historic places.
Oh, wow. I love some of those beautiful mountains and plateaus that you see up there. They're gorgeous.
The movie is eye candy. I mean, if you watch the film, it's 2.5 hours. It's entertaining and it's beautiful to look at. You can't go wrong, really. I mean, I'm honored that I actually got to work on it.
Wow.
There's only been a handful of Lone Rangers.
I understand that you're getting ready to film a movie called La Vida Robot, which is filming now with Marisa Tomei, Jamie Lee Curtis, George Lopez. In what capacity are you working or going to be working in that film?
Actually, I've already done that one. I worked 4 days. I just did basic background acting on that one. I didn't do anything fancy on that. It was in town for a few weeks. It was great. George Lopez seems like a really nice guy, very professional. That one's already shot, wrapped, and I believe they're in editing on that one right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, what I have coming up next is a new television show called The Manhattan Project, which stars Daniel Stern, if you're familiar with him from Breaking Away, Home Alone, City Slickers. And I'm doubling for him on that for 16 episodes of a show that's going to be on TV sometime later this year.
Oh, wow, congratulations! It seems like you're able to keep the continuity in your career. You're staying busy.
It's great. I live in New Mexico, and we have some of the best film incentives in the entire country. And since 2005, we have not stopped having productions come in. They've had over 100 film and televisions come in, film and television productions in the last 9 years. Now, I haven't worked on every single one, but a lot of them, though.
I didn't know that. A lot of movies used to be filmed in Georgia and Canada.
Yep.
I didn't know that New Mexico was becoming a hot spot for films.
It is. They have a nickname for it, which I personally don't like, but instead of Hollywood, we're Tamalewood, they call us there. But yeah, we have Breaking Bad was all shot there, and that was a humongous show that won tons of awards. So it's we were already on the map film-wise in the state, but that really cemented us in and put a really good foundation there.
Wow.
To have that successful of a show, which I also worked on a couple episodes of that too.
Now, you've done a lot of things in films. I noticed when I saw your website that you've done so many things. Can you just tell the people, the fans out there, all the things that you've done, and maybe how many years it took you to learn how to do all those things, or if you're still a work in progress?
You know, I think like any art, whether you're a musician or an actor, you're always a work in progress. If you don't think you are, you're not being honest with yourself, because all of us can always learn something new, no matter what age we are. And as an actor and a musician, I every day I pick up a guitar or I go on a movie set, I can feel that I'm getting better at it. So a lot of the movies that I've done that you might recognize, I had a small speaking role on a movie called Into the West. It was a Spielberg production that was in New Mexico for TNT. I had a small speaking role on a Comanche Moon, another Western that was a prequel to Lonesome Dove. Yes.
One of my favorites.
And I got the honor of playing, this was the best part, is they have a young Augustus and a young Woodrow in there. I got to play one of their actual friends.
Oh,
so I was so excited. I got to be part of Lonesome Dove history in that film. So that was great. It was Steve Zahn and what was the other actor on that too? Really good guy, Carl Urban. Starred in that one. They were really sweet guys as well. Let's see, what else? Have you seen Employee of the Month with Jessica Simpson?
No, I have not seen that.
It was a comedy I did a few years ago. I was a box boy that works at the grocery store, so I didn't really get to say much, but I'm in the whole film every time we're at the store working with Jessica Simpson. That was fun. I also worked on a Jennifer Lopez movie called Border Town, and she was very sweet to work with too, very professional, her and Martin Sheen. I got to do 3 days with them, and Martin, I was second team on that as well, and Martin Sheen had all of us second team guys have lunch with him every day. We went and sat at the table with them and listened to his fun little stories. One movie that I did that's a comedy that I'm not too particularly proud of, and I always say that I can't do a movie that my mom can't watch, and that's my number one rule. And I did one that was borderline called Beer Fest, where I was the captain of the Irish drinking team. So I wouldn't recommend it as a real Christian type of film, but it was a comedy, and it was a really good paid job. I had a speaking role in that one too. And
you've been at a lot of films. You were a cowboy in the Valley of Elah. You were a gunfighter in 310 to Yuma. And you were in Transformers, Seraphim Falls, and The Negotiator, which you already mentioned.
Yeah.
And it just seems like you're just busy all the time. And when I went over your credits, I couldn't believe it. You know, I'm thinking, how come I didn't know this about a guy that's a friend of mine on Facebook? You know.
Well, the thing is I do use my social medias to advertise what I'm doing more than anything else, but I don't really boast about it or brag about it, because I don't feel like that's the right attitude to have about anything.
Right.
And I come off very unassuming, and like people meet me and they'll know me for a day or two before I even bring up the movie business thing, and then they'll be like, "Wow, I would have never known you were an actor. You don't act like an actor." I'm like, "Well, how do actors act?" You know.
Well, actors, most actors, you know, when you're around them and they're not acting, they're just a real person. They're not into the role, you know. And sometimes they have difficulty if they're playing a role for a long time of forgetting that role when they go home, you know.
Yes, it can be heavy. There's a method of acting called method acting, actually, where you use your own experiences to conjure up emotional moments. And personally, I don't like doing that, because once they turn it on, it's hard to turn off again. So I will use method acting every once in a while for if I have to cry or something really angry, but you know, for the most part, I'm able to turn it off and on pretty quickly, you know. So I might even do some Shakespeare here in a minute. You never know.
My daughter-in-law worked a lot on films. She went to Joe Blasco makeup school, and she worked on the Terminator, the original Terminator. She worked on Flash Gordon. She worked on The Goonies. She worked on Wisdom.
Wow, those are all classics too from when I was a kid. I had no idea that she did all that too. That's amazing.
Oh yeah, she did, and there was a couple of times that she was able to inject, they would decorate the bathroom walls where they were going to shoot a scene, and she'd put Stryper on the walls.
So if we go back and watch some of those scenes, we might pick up on little pieces.
In the Goonies, you'd see Stryper on the restroom wall, and I remember her saying the most memorable thing she ever said to me was she had a chance to get Arnold Schwarzenegger's jacket in the Terminator, and she passed it by because she didn't think that movie was going to become a classic.
And make 2 others, right?
Yeah, she knew all the wardrobe people, she knew all the makeup people, and she worked with the guy that did the creative makeup on Flash Gordon. So now I understand that you've done some makeup and stuff like that.
Yeah, mostly whenever I work on an independent film, you're required to almost always do your own makeup, so sometimes you do that. But I have experience doing zombie makeup too, which has always been fun. Although, if you've ever been a zombie in a movie, it's not as much fun as it looks. I mean, it takes sometimes 2 hours to go through a makeup transformation. And then you shoot for 12 or 14 hours, and then it takes another hour for them to get you out of it, because you just can't go home and take that stuff off.